Hello guys, welcome to Good Do Micro Projects. Kindly check this application out. When I click the send message, it sends a counter to the image. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on and on. Now, in this video, we're going to develop this using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, React Hooks, and Redux. If you want to type along with me, kindly install the following. 1. npm install Redux. Then 2. npm install React Redux. Then 3. npm install Redux DevTools extension. Good. With all said and done, let's begin. Thank you very much. To begin with, let's go to our SRC folder and create a folder called Assets. Create another folder and call it Components. Then create another folder and call it Redux. Good. Now let's handle the first one, Assets. Let's go to Assets, create a folder called Image. Good. Now we need to locate our image and put it inside the image folder. We need to locate our image and put it inside the image folder. Now let's go to our folder, locate our image on desktop. Got this image, copy it and take it to the image folder using the backdoor. So you locate the folder you are working in, locate the SRC folder, go to Assets, go to Image and paste it. So that is that for the, so we can have the image on the screen. So our image is ready. So that is that for the asset folder. Now let's go to the components folder. Let's create a folder and call it count. In the count folder, let's create a file and call it count.js. Count.js. Boilerplate. Good. Instead of just ordinary div, let's make it React for fragment. Fragment. Good. With h1 tag, let's say hello. So we link that to the app.js to view on the screen. So we say count. Let's import count. We say import count from components count. Good. Now let's check how it's doing. Great. We're ready to go. Let's go to our count and look at our structure. Now with our structure, let me show you how we're going to do it. Now let's take a header, then we make a body, then we make a footer. Okay, so over here we put our header here, then over here we put our image here nicely. Okay, then the last one we create our body. Now in our page setup, Our page is divided into 12 columns, so in order to use the middle region, I'll divide the first one to 3, then the middle one to 6, then last one can take 3, so we can have 3, 6, 3 together making 12. So we're going to work in this region, so let's do that. Good. So we create a div, call it class name row. Let's give it a margin top of 5. Then we create a div, call it column, class name column md3. Now we copy the same thing and name it 6. So we say call md6. So we are going to work in the 6. The first thing to do is to create a card. So we say div class name equals card. Good. Now in card, let's create the header, body, and footer. So we say div class name card header. Let's do it likewise for body and footer. So we say the next one should be called body, and the next one called footer. Let's take the first one, the header. What do? We need an h2 tag with the name badge app. With our body, we need our image. So we'll say image tag, call it image src, call it Facebook. Then we say alt, give it the name Facebook. Same. Okay. Close the tag, then go up, import our image. So we say import Facebook from assets facebook.png. Good. Now next is our footer. Now footer, what do we need? We need a button. So we need a button and call it send message. So now let's check our screen to see how things are doing. We have issue with our Facebook image. So let's go there again. I think let's remove the curly bracket. Great. So now this next thing is to center our application, then give it some background colors. So we say first let's make the footer beautiful. We say let's give it a class name. To the class name and call it btn success. Then font weight bold. That is that for the button. Now let's go to the header. Let's give it also a class name. Call it font weight bold. Then we can center our everything and say test center. Good. Now let's check it again to see how things looking. Great. I think the test center we put it at the wrong place. So let's go check it. We need to put it in the card, not the card header. So we go to the card header. And we say test center. Good. I think that should solve it. Oh, great. So now what is left is some background colors and a class name on the image. So we say class name on the image. We have good class name. Let's give it a name, Facebook image. Good. Now our span tag. I nearly forgot our span tag. So we say it's a span. Let's say for now, let's make it 10. We're going to style it. So let's go to our CSS and let's go and style the colors and the span. So let's go to CSS. Good. Here, let's start with the body. Now with the body, let's give it a background color of E4, E3. Oh, sorry, the hash. Great. How about we give the same background color to the card body. Card body. Period. And a footer. So on the footer to card footer. Okay. But with the header, give it a different color. Say card header. I'll give it a background color of 43619C. Good. Then a color of white smoke. So from here, let's see how things are doing. Great. Great. So now let's make our image round and style our span. So let's do that. So we call it Facebook image. Facebook image. We say give it a position relative. Then Then we say border radius 50%. Good. Now let's check it out. Great. Now what is left with our span? We need to span our make our span beautiful. The 10 over here beautiful and bring it somewhere here. So let's do that. So we say span. Span. Give it a position. Absolute. Then we give it top of 80 pixels, then left 320 pixels, and can give it font size of 60 pixels, font weight 600, then some background color for red, width and height, can give it width of 60 pixels and a height of 60 pixels. The basics. Then the color, this color of white smoke. That should do. Let's check it out. I think the font size is too big. How about we make it 40? Let's check it out. Great. Now let's make it circular. So we say background radius, border radius 50%. Great, exactly. Now let's create some animation on the span. So we say animation, we give it a name, animate 0.9 seconds. Seconds is out, infinite, alternate. Good. Now let's create the keyframes. We say at keyframes, give it a name, animate. What do you want to do? Now at 0%, we want to transform scale 0.7. Good. I paste in here. Let's copy the same thing to 100%. And make it at 100%. We want to transform scale 1. So that is that. Let's see how it's behaving on the screen. Good. So that is that with the component. So next is how to send the message to the counter. So to do that, we need to create the counter in the Redux. So let's go to the Redux folder. Now let's close this. So in our Redux folder, let's create a file called store. Then another one called roots reducer. Then we create a folder and call it count redux. Create a folder and call it count redux. Now in count redux folder, let's create a file called count.action types. Yes, good. In the same count redux folder, let's create another file call count dot actions. In the same folder, we'll create another one called count dot reducer. Good. So we begin with the action types. So with the action types, we say export const fetch count, tch fetch count as a type we want. Okay, the same name, fetch count. Good. So from there we go to dot actions, count dot actions. So at fetch the actions first, and let's import the action types. So import fetch count, fetch count from action types. Next we say let fetch count equal to a function, so equal to a function that will return a type fetch count, comma, and the payload let's give the same name, fetch, make it increase count. So that is that. Now let's export our fetch count. Export fetch count. Good. So that is that for the actions. Now let's go to the next one. Count dot reducer. Over here, first thing is to import our action types. Now we imported it in our action, so let's go copy it and just come and paste it. Good. Then next, create a feature key. So we say export const, let's call it count key equals equals count store. Now this good. Create the value count store in the store. Okay. Good. Now let's create our initial state. Initial state equals count with a value 0. So let's create the count reducer. We say count, let count reducer equal to function where we say state equals initial state comma actions. So say let the structure it, so we say let type comma payload equals action. so that we can have a switch statement with a tag. So we say switch to bracket type with a case fetch count should return count with a value state.count plus 1. So that is that when the count is called, when the fetch count is called. So let's export our reducer. So let's say export count reducer. So that is that for the count reducer. Now let's go to the next one, which is root reducer. So over here, first thing is to import our count reducer. So we say import count reducer, comma count key. Let's get a feature key to count key go from reducer, from count reducer. Good. Then we also import combine reducers, combine reducers from Redux. So that is that. So we can now say let's root root reducer be equal to combine reducers into bracket count count store. The name in the store should be given the value count reducer. Good. Now let's export our store. So we say export root reducer. Good. Now we go to the store. In our store, let's import our root reducer. Root reducer from from root reducer. Then in addition to that, we need to import create store from Redux. Then we import another one, compose with dev tools from Redux DevTools extension. Then finally we can say let store equal to create store into bracket root reducer, comma compose with DevTools function. So we can now export our store. Good. Now from here, we need to go configure our store in the app.js. So we go to app.js. Let me import our store. Import store from Redux from store. Good. And we also import provider. Import provider from React Redux. So that is that. Now let's use the provider and wrap the provider around the count. So we say provider should be store equals store. So let's cut it, take it to the bottom. Good. Now let's make it pretty. Good. So that is that with the configuration. So now let's check our browser to see how things are doing. Great, we have an error. It says there's something that got to do with the initialization. So let's go to the reducer and check it out. Count reducer, good. Yeah, we didn't declare our default. So over here we say default should return state. Good. Let's check it out to see how it's doing. Great, there's no error. So now let's check our store to see if we have data. So we go to our store. Great. We have data in the store. We can see the raw view. We have count store was given a count with a value 0. That is that. So we have data in the store. So the next thing now is to link the store to the component. So let's see how to do that. So let's locate the component count.js and import 2 hooks. Use dispatch. Use dispatch, comma, use selector from React Redux. We're going to use the use selector to view the data from the store. So let's say view data. Okay. So let's say let's call it let view count. Okay. View count equals the function equals to use selector. Okay. Equals to use selector function. Right? Use selector function. Good. That gives us another function where we say state should return state with a count key. the feature key, so we call it count key. The count key has been imported automatically. Okay, so that is that. So with the viewing of the store, so let's check. We can link it to the component now. The name view count. So let's go to our span tag. Instead of hard coding, let's make it dynamic and say view count dot count. Okay. Now let's check it out. Great. It says no more 10, it's now 0. So meaning we're good to go. So the next thing is dispatch a message here to the counter to increase it. And to do that, we're going to use hook call use dispatch. So we say let dispatch equal to use dispatch. So now we can call it. So we can now call our button, okay, using the onClick event. So we say onClick cross handle click. We will copy that and create a function for it. So we say let handle click equals to a function good function where are we going to say now? Let's call it from the story. Say dispatch function, and inside the dispatch we call the action, and the action is what? Fetch count. So let's call fetch count. Fetch count function. Good. Now fetch count has been imported. So that is that. Let's see. Check the screen to see how it's doing. Great. Our counter is working. Now let's do something. When the counter is 0, it shouldn't show on the Facebook image until I click send. Then we can see when it's 1, then we can see it on the screen. So if it's 0, it shouldn't be on the screen. So when I click 1, then it should appear. So we're going to use an if statement to handle that. So let's go to our span tag. Good, our span tag here. So let's copy it, cut it rather. Then we give it an if statement. We say bracket if view count dot count equals 0, then display now. Otherwise, then you display your span tag. Okay, so if view count dot count equals 0, display now. Otherwise, you display the span tag. So that should solve it. So now you can see, let's run it and see. So you can see that our badge didn't appear. So when we say send message, it now appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you very much. Remember to do good. Catch you in the next video. We say goodbye.